Presented by Listen Headlines, latest world news from trusted sources. Updating daily at 6 a.m. New York.
The Washington Times stories. Advocacy.
October 12, 5:12 America, New York. Live updates, Russia-Ukraine war. Kyiv, Ukraine. Ukraine's Southern Operational Command says its forces have recaptured 5 settlements in the Kherson region.
BBC News World.
October 12, 5:09 America, New York. Iran protester. You know that you might never come back. Fawaz tells the BBC that he knows his life is at risk whenever he protests on the streets of Tehran.
Washington Post World. October 12, 5:03 America, New York. Iran suffers major disruption of internet as protests loom. Iran has suffered a major disruption in internet service amid calls for renewed protests weeks after the death of a 22-year-old woman who had been detained by the country's morality police.
New York Times World News.
October 12, 5 o'clock America, New York. The age of P.C.R. prosperity. China's COVID testing strategy comes under strain. Bills are piling up and infections are spreading. Yet there are no signs that Beijing plans to rethink a cornerstone of its pandemic policy.
New York Times World News.
October 12, 5 o'clock America, New York. Read your way through London. Bernardine Evaristo, whose Girl, Woman, Other won the Booker Prize, invites readers into London, a city whose rich literary landscape is, for everyone, not just the privileged few.
BBC News World.
October 12, 3:22 America, New York. Elon Musk denies he spoke to Putin about Ukraine war. The Tesla boss has denied reports he spoke to the Russian leader before tweeting about the Ukraine war.
BBC News World.
October 12, 3:22 America, New York. Eritreans in fear as military call-up intensifies over Ethiopia's Tigray war. Elderly mothers and fathers have been detained after their children went into hiding, sources say.
Mirror World News.
October 12, 3:09 America, New York. Police hope to charge Christian Bruckner with Madeleine McCann's murder before Christmas. Christian Bruckner has been the prime suspect in the disappearance of Madeleine McCann since he was named in 2020, but the German national has yet to be charged in relation to the case.
Mirror World News.
October 12, 3:06 America, New York. 8 detained over Crimea bridge explosion as Russia names who organized hit. On Saturday, a suspected truck bomb blew up the Kerch Bridge, which connects Russia to its annexed territory of Crimea, triggering the Kremlin's 24-hour aerial bombardment of 7 Ukrainian cities.
New York Times World News.
October 12, 3 o'clock America, New York. Young, underground reporters fight a gun with a pen in Myanmar. The Southeast Asian nation has seen a relentless crackdown on free expression, with a small literary magazine emerging as one of the few remaining independent media outlets. Myanmar is now one of the world's most dangerous places for journalists after the army seized power in a coup last year.
Washington Post World.
October 12, 2:10 America, New York. Russia-Ukraine war live updates. NATO chief urges air defenses for Kyiv as military aid on agenda in Brussels. Defense leaders from nearly 50 countries will gather in Brussels for a meeting of the Ukraine Defense Contact Group.
World News. Breaking international news and headlines, Sky News.
October 12, 1:38 America, New York. Aung San Suu Kyi's prison term reaches 26 years after latest fraud sentencing. Myanmar's ousted leader Aung San Suu Kyi has been sentenced to 3 more years in prison after a court found her guilty of involvement in election fraud.
Washington Post World.
October 12, 0:39 America, New York. 477 whales die in heartbreaking New Zealand strandings. Some 477 pilot whales have died after stranding themselves on 2 remote New Zealand beaches over recent days, officials say.